What's up, y'all? Let's jump right into this. I have a son named Muji who I love. He's doing 20 to 40 years in prison. Okay. So, like a love hate relationship. I don't know. Sometimes he mess with me, sometimes he don't. I always thought he was cool. I never had a problem with him. I never beat him, never disrespected him, never called him crazy, never did none of those things, right? But for some reason, he has a thing with me that he feels like way about everything, right? He feels entitled, I guess. I don't know, right? But make a long story short, he never says nothing about his mother. I see him do a whole interview talking about me. Yeah, my dad this, and my dad's broken. My dad this, that, the third, right? But let's take it to the beginning, y'all. I'm gonna walk y'all through the beginning how this thing happened. Met a girl. She's guarded up. I think she was on her dean, whatever. I had sex with her once. Boom. She had a baby. She blamed it on a guy named BR. I knew she blamed it on BR because me and him were up CFCF together when I was fighting the homicide. She blamed it on some guy from West Park that died on the motorcycle. Then she blamed him on Bub from 31st and Tasking, right? This is the guys, just the people I know, right? These are facts. There's no. So Muji over here, but the last guy, Bub from 31st and Tasker, is where Muji ended up living at. I'm minding my business. I know nothing about none of these things that's going on. I don't know. I have nothing to do with it. So Muji's growing up, right? I'm getting money. I'm a state property, $90,000 car, $30,000 watch. I got my own daughter and son, my own girl. I mean, so one day I'm in prison, right? I'm doing 11 to 23 months, and my lawyer like, you got a warrant from child support. I said, warrant? What child support? Come to find out, it's Muji's mom. I don't say her name. Muji's mom. Uh, when they get welfare and they take you to court for child support, I guess she blamed. So after she take me to court for child support, I will pay it, whatever. Before I even took the test, right? So the reason why she got Bub found out it wasn't his because Bub's mother took a DNA test behind Bub's back, right? Because she said how grandmas be. He don't look like us. So she comes to her son like, yo, that's not your son, right? He's like, what? So he tells Muji mom, that's not my son. He said, oh, she fall on the floor saying the chest not right, take it again. And all this drag. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, that ain't my son. But Muji still stays there. They was attached to him already at that point, right? Now they could have just kept Muji and not bring me into the picture at all. I would have never knew. The fact that the grandmother didn't take that test behind Muji, Bub back, I mean, because she ain't want to tell her son that she don't think it's his. She just did it on her own. I would have never knew that about this. So for me, I'm looking at it like, bro, I wouldn't have nothing to do with this situation. If you wasn't going to even tell me it was mine. So it's not like I'm a super bad dad. When I'm a dad, that ain't had nothing to do with nothing. I wasn't even involved. He got a dad, right? Make a long story short, they come tell me, I got out of jail. And the first day I go to her house, I knock on the door to let me talk to the young boy to see whatever. Some boy in the window threatening me to knock on my door, bro. It was like too much. It was too. I could have easily just walked away from the whole thing because it was too much, right? I said, "Oh, that's your son. You can't walk away, right?" Of course, dads don't get no accolades for not walking away. It's your duty to do it, even if the girl blamed them on 10,000 people, and it's still your duty to do it, right? Whatever, right? So I ended up getting a test. It was mine, right? Now my son lives at the guy Bub. I never saw him before. Never knew him. Don't know him. Nothing. He lives in 31st and Tasker, right? Projects. Mind you, I'm riding down. I'm coming through stunting. I'm stunting. I mean, I'm coming through all white Jag convert. Oh, I'm almost state property popping. I'm like a celebrity at the time, right? I got to go to the projects, to another man's house, right, to see a son that don't know me. So sometimes I come down, he wouldn't even come outside. I'm out there waiting like a nut, right? Like, man, I understand. Young boy don't want to come outside. He don't really know me, like, you know what I'm saying? So I start bringing my other sons. Maybe he come outside, he see my other sons with his brothers or whatever, right? But mind you, the whole time, I could easily just left. I get nothing out of this. I'm like, only thing I'm trying to do is be a righteous dad or whatever you want to call it, right? So I started getting cool with Bub. So if maybe I get cool with Bub, I could be in the house more and I could feel more comfortable with them and I could be around my son. I did all this on the name of him. So when somebody say something bad about your birds, your gears, because like you won't have no idea, bro. That I could have just every fabric of my being was saying, "Oh man, leave this alone. You know, coming down here, you stunting, you all showing off. You done a project. You're not from down here to come see a little kid that don't come outside for you, right?" And my son even said it in the interview he had. He said, "Man, sometimes my dad would come down here, I wouldn't even come outside." He said like it was a flex, not knowing like, bro, your dad don't got to be here. Your dad don't got a dad, right? So in the meantime, so I met Bub, and Bub got to live with Bub. Mother and father were still together. Bub's father is amazing. He used to call me like, "Yo, Muji got a game, right? I mean, I'm just like, keep you posted whatever you got going on," even though he know that's not his real grandson, right? So we start being like a little pack. Like they start holding me down. They never made me feel no type. You know what I mean? So Muji like he had a heart. I'm like, bro, you never had a heart. You had me, you had Bub, and you had Bub dad, and you had your mom. No matter what I think about his mom first, his mom she Polo down, he got everything he need. He never had it hard, right? But sometimes not having it hard make you feel entitled, right? So I'm looking at the people you talking about, your dad this, your dad that, bro. I can show you pictures of me at your games, family portraits, different years, different stuff. Or took you to a show me out of town. Oh, wearing my rollie. Driving my Corvette. Bro. So I want my son to realize this. Whatever bad as a dad you think I was, you're gonna be in jail for 20 years, right? Your daughter, you're not gonna have no memories with your daughter outside of jail. So what you think she's gonna say about you, opposed to what you're saying about me? At least I got pictures I can post on here and show all the places we've been and did and been at and had fun and this, that, and the third and love I mean, so it's what makes me so mad is that you're turning 27 years old or something like that, right? And you still acting not taking responsibility for what you got going on, bro. Bro, you're not taking responsibility. You don't call me, so I had to. Maybe you'll see this because I know you'll be on doing that, watching all this stuff and all that, right? Bro, stop. Then you said another thing you said in the interview. I just burnt my gears. Yeah, nobody never took us out of town, nothing like that. Bro, I was cutting hair, making maybe $300 a day, cutting hair all day. Saved up $900. I said I'm gonna take my sons to the Poconos. Took Muji and two of my other sons to the Poconos for the weekend, right? On our way back from the Poconos to Philly, he said, "Dad, can you drop me off for 31st and Task? I want to wash some clothes or dry some clothes, something like that." I said, "You sure, man?" All right, I'm gonna drop you off because I think he was staying there with his mom sometimes. Then I don't know what the living situation was, but he would. I dropped him off 31st and Tasker. 40 minutes later, they called me like, "Oh, your son just got locked up." I said, "What? I just dropped him off 40 minutes ago." Yeah, but they say he was clapping at somebody and the law saw him and booked him. I said, "What the?" So you get booked to go up Glen Mills. So when he was saying that drag about nobody ever do nothing, bro, the day you got booked to go up Glen Mills, you just came from a trip. You just came from a trip. So in my head, looking like, bro, what, you ain't gonna say that on the show? You gonna just say all bad stuff about me? Oh, okay. You ain't, then I'm saying, I said, damn, as soon as you went upstate, I took your mom $500 each for a TV. In prison, the best thing you want is a TV upstate. You know, I've been up there already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, you just said, like, nobody don't do nothing. Like, bro, that means you feel like somebody owe you everything. When I was in jail for homicide, bro, I had my own money. I paid for my own lawyer. I never had a dad before to ask for nothing. My mom do drugs. I don't have a mom to ask me for nothing. So just imagine how I feel when somebody just feels so entitled, right? Instead of just saying, "Damn, man, let me dig myself." I don't talk about bad about my dad to my friends. And then for your friends that disrespect me online, they even mean they don't respect you, right? Or they know you don't care about me. Because nobody will feel safe talking about my dad than me. That's supposed to be my homie. That's not even. So when I seen all that happen, I'm like, bro, at some point you get drained. You feel drained, like it's too much. I remember one time you said I wasn't there when I was young. I said, bro, because I never told my son his mom blamed him on a bunch of people. I don't even know if my son even understand that. Do you know that Bub was your dad? Why do you think you live on 31st and Tasker? You from 31st and Tasker because Bub was your dad. And the only reason Bub is not your dad is because Bub mom took a test behind your mom back, and then I was the last culprit. She blamed me. I'm the last person she blamed you on, bro. The last person, and I stepped up and said, "Come on, the rock." He can't never name a time I beat him. He can't never name a time I hollered, cussed at him. Nothing. But all people realize is what you didn't do. You ain't do this and you ain't do that. When I say it's a burnout, it's definitely a burnout and it's draining. And it gets to a point that, okay, I don't need anybody doing anything for me. I make money for myself. I don't have a mom or dad to blame none of my shortcomings on. None of that. My son had everything it is to be a superstar. He had me as his dad. He had Leaf Ward as his best friend. From a popular neighborhood that's known for stuff. You know what I'm saying? I like there's no reason for you to be where you at. Besides, you wanted to do it. You wanted to do it. You want to take some responsibility? Parents always going to take some type of responsibility for the kid, even if they had nothing to do with it because it's your kid. You know what I mean? But once you start pushing 30 and all that, at some point, you have to say, well, how did I contribute to this? See, the thing with me is I grew up so messed up, whereas though I knew it was me, I had to get it on my own. It wasn't no, Mom, why you ain't do this, Mom? I ain't have all that. I just didn't have all that. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be hard for me to really understand that kind of thinking. Let me talk about my dad. Why you say that about your mom? Why you say, Mom, Dad? So if he put himself in the same shoes as me and say, damn, let me think about it. This girl blamed him on this person, this. Come to me, you might not even take a test. Like, I ain't take that. She blamed, she messed with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Mess with everybody. You never seen them bad about her. Bro, I had to come to another man's, so think about this. I had to come to another man's house to see a kid that don't want to see me and keep doing it and never gave up. I never gave up. Never gave up. Think about that, y'all. I'm going to another man's house in the neighborhood I'm not from to see a kid that don't want to see me. I never gave up. Kept doing it. Kept doing it till eventually we got all right. I mean, but one thing is for sure, when you meet a kid 8, it's not gonna be the same level as a kid you had when you were first born. Because it's like you don't really know each other. Like my son Vasquez, I knew him since he was born. I was there in the hospital when he was born. I'm waiting for him to come to the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a different, mind you, I love all of them, right? But there's certain things like, bro, I gotta do it another man to talk to you. I gotta talk to another, your supposedly pop dad to talk to you. Nobody says nothing about that. They say, Oschino don't do this, Oschino the reason why you even know me. Because I could have just left and just said, man, I ain't dealing with that. I ain't no job. I get my money off the strength. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this, I stepped up to the plate, did what I was supposed to do, and you get no respect for it. You know what I'm saying? All you get is disrespect and people complain about this and complain about that when you had no choice in the matter of you even being in this world. So if anything, you should blame your mama for saying that. Mom, why you just like staying the course if you ain't know who mind you, Muji don't even got his mom or she made up a last name. You don't even got my last name, bro. I'm not on the birth certificate, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I still stepped up and did what I'm supposed to do. And at 27 years of age, it's like I'm tired of having to prove myself to somebody for something when I can just take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? People say, when that boy said all this stuff to me the other day about, because he a man, Muji, it made me so mad. I mean, that he felt comfortable saying that to me. I mean, and the fact that this ain't the first person saying something about me, the fact that you made that video about me, and the fact that I'm trying to step up for you, as though I get nothing out of it, bro. The only thing that make me change how I feel right now is you talking to me, but you don't want to call me no more. I mean, I'm always gonna love you, always gonna be my son, right? But at some point, a father or probably a mother too, get drained out and get burnt out. Get burnt out, especially when they're living their best life, doing what they gotta do for themselves. And it's hard out here. You have no idea how much groceries cost, how much rent and mortgages cost, how much the price of living costs. When you're in prison, it's easy because you don't have to pay nothing. Out here, it's very hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? I remember the time I got my Range Rover, I got my crib, so everybody like, oh, getting money. I'm getting money to take care of my life. But who knows if I got extra money to pay? So imagine somebody begging you for something you just don't have it. And they mad about you not giving it to them, but you just don't have it, right? Everybody talking. At some point, you're like, man, you know what? Why don't I give my stuff to somebody that appreciate me? Why don't I give my money to somebody that love me? Money or not. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like I had to say that because like everybody got all this stuff to say. I've been letting people talk online, saying all this stuff about me, about this situation which I had and all that. Like I mean, I do this and do that. Well, I will never hear somebody say something about his mother. I mean, because most guys is not going to step up to the plate. Once the girl, your son with another dude, like that's his dad. I ain't going over there. But most dudes gonna say, especially a dude in the position I was in. I'm in a position where I don't got to deal with nothing. I got a girl I love. I'm in my coop. I got my coop, my car, my cribs, everything I need to have. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's very unfair for me that you to grow up and have these things to say about me. We're not saying anything about your mother. I love y'all, even if y'all love me back. Peace, fast,